Let's make homemade chicken sauce. You'll definitely love it. So here is everything that I used. I did add sugar at the end, but you definitely can omit that. And then the Kinders, you definitely can omit that as well. So here's everything that I used. I used a red and green bell pepper, a yellow and white onion. I have 3 limes, and I have a bag of mini red potatoes and mini yellow potatoes. And then I use a whole bag of carrots because I didn't want to waste it. So yeah, definitely pause the video if you need to go ahead and get the ingredients that are needed. So what I always do when I do a recipe, I put a little bit in a bowl, and whatever I don't know if it's going to taste good or not, I add it to the bowl, mix it up really good, and then if I like it, then I go ahead and add it. So that's where the Kinders comes in and the sugar. I do this after everything has cooked, and I do that for my final taste test before I go ahead and serve everybody. So I'm going to season the chicken really well with those seasonings that you saw before. And then I'm using avocado oil in this big pot to go ahead and get everything, the chicken browned before I add in the vegetables. But you can definitely use whatever oils that you do have. So once everything is browned, you just go ahead and flip everything over to brown the other side. I'm using about, I think, temperature 6 or 7. Since I'm using a stainless steel pot. But yes, definitely adjust it to whatever your stove is, because I know some stoves cook high and some cook low, so definitely adjust it that way. So I'm just starting, but the house already smells amazing from all the seasonings that I use. So you know my mouth is watering. So after about 5 or 6 minutes, I start to flip it over to the other side. Do you see where it's kind of browned it? That's what you're looking for. But I did get impatient with some of the chicken and went ahead and flipped it anyway, just so I can get it out the way. But it's always good to brown it, just so it can get that extra flavor. My wrist was getting so tired, y'all. look at the wrist. Yes. Y'all, I'm silly. But anyways, as you can see, I'm steady flipping because I have a lot of chicken. I think I have about, 10 pounds is what I have. So yeah, I did clean and cook a lot of chicken just to make this chicken sauce for the first time. And I'm glad that it came out great because I would have been mad. But anyways, go ahead and keep flipping until you get your desired look. And then next we'll start adding in all the other ingredients. Okay, y'all, so I did add in a yellow bell pepper, as you can see. Chop it to whatever size that you want, but I did chop it, medium small. And then I did add in the chopped onions as well. I did add in a whole garlic bulb. So I don't know how many comes in the bulb, but I chopped those up really good. Or you can just use the one in the can. It might be a little bit easier, but I was trying something different, a little bit, fresher. So go ahead and mix everything well. Make sure that you do scrape the bottom just so you can get up those good bits before you start adding in all the water and then adding more seasoning. So as you can see in the pot, I didn't throw any of that away or wash it away. I just added some water just so I can get the rest of that seasoning that I use for the chicken and go ahead and add it in. I did go ahead and add in a whole thing of cilantro. I got that chopped up really fine. Mix that really well as well. For the water, I didn't have a measurement, but I would say just fill it up. Cover the chicken just a little bit so that, everything cooks evenly. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my chopped carrots. Chop it to whatever size that you like. I just did it this way. And then I just made sure there was no bad parts on the potatoes and got those added in whole. And then I just chopped the limes into slices, as you can see as well. So feel free to use chicken broth, but I did buy the concentrate chicken broth so that I can add it to water, which is pretty much the same thing, just saves you money. So I'm going to do a few squirts of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and, mix it very well again. And then I'm going to add a little bit more. But feel free to taste test it because once the chicken has cooked a little bit, just to see what else is needed. And I bet y'all are saying now, girl, I don't use crystals, but hot sauce is hot sauce to me. That's what I had available. So my go-to is usually Louisiana hot sauce, but that's what I had available, y'all. So the big debate is Louisiana hot sauce or crystals, or what is your favorite hot sauce? So I am going to drop in a few bay leaves. I'm going to add in about 2 to 3 capfuls of vinegar. It just depends on how much vinegar that you do like. So like I said earlier, just taste it. And if you think it needs more vinegar, go ahead and add it. And then as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and use the same seasonings over. And then if I think it needs salt, I'll go ahead and add in salt a little bit later. So this did boil for about an hour. Whenever you see the chicken falling apart, then you can go ahead and turn it off. So I would also use onion powder, but I ran out. And I'm going to go ahead and add the whole can of tomato paste, but you can definitely do half. That's going to cook down as well. So I would say altogether, I cooked this about 8 hours. So I would say about after 30 minutes, then you will add in your chopped corn. You can either keep it whole or slice it into pieces like I did. Cook it for about another 20 minutes because you know you don't want to cook the corn too long. Okay, let's see what we got. And then pretty much it's time to serve, baby. Look at that. Looks so delicious. And it was so delicious as well. See the chicken falling off the bone a little bit? That's what you want. So you can just eat it like that. But I did make some rice to add that too because, you know, just that extra heartiness is what I wanted. Ooh, wee, look at that, y'all. So beautiful. So I had to get a second opinion to see if my flavors were on point.
1 to 10.
So here's my son.
What would you give it?
Well,
It's my first time making it.
it's been a minute since I had mama's cooking. You know what I mean? Out there, we don't get this out there. So, off the top of the head, I'm gonna say 10.